As a breast cancer survivor and someone who remembers the sheer panic of that first oncology appointment like it was yesterday, trust me, I know exactly what it is that you're going through. I remember going into that first appointment like super prepared, ready to get down to action. I was ready for business. So much so that I didn't even realize when my oncologist was just trying to make small talk. So much so that we laugh about it today because he literally was just trying to break the ice. And I was like, what are we doing? Like, we're here for business. Let's talk. What are we going to do? In part 2 of our Diagnosis to Decision series, I'm going to give you 5 simple but powerful questions that you should take with you to that first oncology visit. And I have an extra bonus for you if you watch all the way to the end, so you don't want to miss this. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Zacobia and I wear many hats, many titles. But if you're watching this video, then you're probably here because I'm a breast cancer survivor. And I like to talk about things that a lot of people don't talk about. So welcome to my channel and let's dive in. Question number 1 that I want you to ask at that first oncology appointment is, what type and stage of breast cancer do you have? Even if you already think you know the answer to this, ask again and ask them to explain it in layman's terms. Like, ask them to simplify it as much as they possibly can so that you have a full understanding of what it is that you're facing. You want your doctor to explain what subtype, what grade, what stage, and you want them to do this in everyday terms. You want them to be able to even tell you, what does this mean for treatment options for you? The second question that I want you to ask is, what treatment plan do they recommend and why? This isn't just about chemo versus no chemo. You want to know more about all of the options out there to be able to treat what it is that you're dealing with, whether it's surgery, whether it's chemotherapy, radiation, targeted treatment, immunotherapy. There are all different options out there, and there can be a combination of options. There can be one versus the other. And so you want to know what exactly it is that they are recommending for you and how and why and everything else that falls into that. And the reason you're wanting to know this is because you want to know what the goal is. Is the goal to cure it? Is the goal to control it? Is the goal to prevent a reoccurrence? Like, you want to know and understand everything that there is to understand about what it is that you're dealing with. And on top of all of this, you want to know, is this the standard of care? And what other options may be available to you outside of what was recommended right now? The third question I want you to focus on is, are there any clinical trials or alternatives that you may qualify for? Most people don't know this, but some clinical trials actually offer treatment for all of the participants that are going through the trial. And so that is cutting edge treatment for everyone, not one group is on, placebo getting nothing, and this group is, getting the actual medicine. Not all clinical trials are like that, especially as it pertains to cancer. A lot of the clinical trials actually give everybody, some form of some type of treatment. And this gives you close monitoring by the clinical research team that may offer you to have more scans and more tests that you probably wouldn't have had if you were just going through the standard treatment plan. And so it gives you an opportunity to be able to be monitored a little bit more closer than the standard treatment plan if you're not going through a clinical trial. And so this is a great time to ask, should you reach out to a clinical research specialist, or should you get a second opinion and be in an area that has more clinical trials than maybe one offers? We know that not all hospitals are the same, not all doctors are the same. So you want to ask these questions so that you're in a position to receive the best possible treatment available to you. Next up is question number 4. You want to ask, what side effects should you prepare for? What should you expect from what you're receiving? What type of side effects can you anticipate that some people possibly go through that you could be preparing yourself for as well? And so it is perfectly fine to ask about hair loss, fatigue, nausea, vomiting, and all of that. But sometimes there are other side effects as well that aren't quite as prevalent as others. I personally experienced that when I was going through immunotherapy and the chemotherapy pill. There was some side effects that I was mentioning that it didn't seem like my oncology team was aware of. Thankfully, I had a dermatologist on the team too that was able to help me basically have a treatment plan to help subside those side effects so that I can complete the cycles of immunotherapy and chemotherapy as planned. But again, you want to know kind of what to prepare for so that you can like kind of get ahead of it and not play catch up on the back end. Why it's so important to like have an understanding of what it is that you can anticipate is because it gives you a better like opportunity to prepare for the road ahead. Like you going in kind of knowing and having an understanding of what to look out for makes you more prepared, and you don't get caught off guard with stuff. So don't be afraid to ask, how will this affect my daily life? Especially if you're still working, especially if you're under the age of 40. Like if you're going through a breast cancer diagnosis at a young age, chances are you have a lot going on. And so you need to know how that affects your daily life. And not to just say like just the women that are under 40, but pretty much anybody. If you're still like out and active and you have a career and family and all these duties and responsibilities, you want to know how this may potentially affect you so that you can be better prepared for it. And the more you're prepared, the less fear you'll have as you proceed down that journey and continue down the path of treatment. Lastly, question number 5 that I want you to be prepared to ask at that first visit is, who will be on your care team and how will you contact them? Like, who is that point of contact? Should you have questions? Should you have side effects? Is it your nurse navigator? If it is a nurse navigator, do you have that nurse navigator's number? I personally have a nurse navigator and I feel like she's absolutely amazing. I can call her. It's not that I like get her to pick up the phone every time I call, but usually when I call, I get a response within like, an hour or so. I get answers back. Even if I email within my chart, I get quick response. And typically when you have that point of contact that's outside of just the oncologist or the doctor, you can get a faster response to any type of burning question that you may have. Knowing who your nurse navigator is, or like I said, whoever that point of contact is very important. You also want to like have a phone number in the case of an emergency. Like, so what do you do if it's after hours and the nurse navigator is not answering the phone and nobody's there because the office is closed? What number do you call? Typically, there's like an emergency number that you can call and you can get the nurse practitioner or the PA or whoever it is that's on call that night. I had to go through that once when I, had something going on and I knew it wasn't right. And I was able to reach out during the, on the weekend when I knew the office was closed and get an immediate response. And thankfully, I had already had the medications on hand that I needed to take during that time. But it was good to already know what to do in that situation. I didn't have to go to an emergency room. I didn't have to go to an urgent care. I didn't have to wait until Monday and let things get worse. There was a number that I can call and somebody was there to respond to, triage me in the situation and to give me the answers that I needed to get through, not just that weekend, but to feel better ultimately. So those are my 5, like I said, simple but important questions to ask at that first oncology visit. Now, as a bonus, I want to include this important tip. Do not go to that first visit by yourself, or if you have to go by yourself, make sure that you are prepared to record and take a notebook so that you can take notes. My number 1 recommendation is to not go by yourself and to take a support person with you, because there's so much that's going to be shared and talked about during that visit. You have so much going through your mind. It's hard to keep track of all that. You can possibly ask if it's okay to record the audio. Just ask first just to make sure. But most times the providers don't mind because they already know it's a lot that you're trying to process, is a lot that you're taking in. So again, if you got to go by yourself, or even if you're not going by yourself, I still recommend that you take some type of device, your phone or something that you can record and be able to go back and listen to that all over again. Because trust me, when you leave, you're going to think you have all that down, but you don't. It's way too much information. So again, as a bonus for that first visit, not only are you taking those 5 essential questions, but you're also taking a notebook, you're taking a support person for you, and you're ready to record and have that audio prepared to listen back on after everything has settled. And just know, you don't have to have everything understood and processed all in the same day. You have time to, listen and regurgitate this information. And like I said, process it. You don't have to build Rome in a day. You have time to get through it. And so that's why it's important to have, like I said, a notebook, a support person, and somebody there, or have, some type of device that somebody can have to record that session and get that information that you can listen back on. And now, as an added bonus, because I felt like you could benefit from having this list of questions already printed out so that you don't have to keep going back and rewinding and listening to me and writing all over again. If you want to rewind and listen all over again, I appreciate that. But as an added bonus to you, I have actually curated a PDF that I want you to download. I am linking that in my description right now. So go to my description and hit that link and download these questions that I told you about. Not only did I give you the 5 questions, but I've even added a few more questions to take with you for that first appointment. So I think it's a great tool for you to have. Definitely be sure to come back to the comments and let me know if you thought it was helpful or not. But in the meantime, like I said, go ahead and click that link in the description and download that free bonus resource. It doesn't cost you anything. It may seem like it takes a little bit to get it. I couldn't find out a better way to get it to where you could just put this in and get this. So forgive me if it takes too long for you to be able to get it, but trust me, you want to have it. So please download that free printable that I have in the description. Just click the link and get that. Understand that that first appointment is your opportunity to take your power back, to get your strength back. Asking those questions, like, it isn't a sign of weakness or anything like that. It is you taking charge of what's going on with your body and how you plan to treat whatever it is that you're dealing with. So don't be afraid to take your power back and build your strength. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, hit the subscribe button. Please let me know in the comments whether or not you think this is helpful to you. And in the meantime, I'll be working on my 3rd video, which will be understanding like the treatment options that are available. So I'll break down literally all the treatment options that I know of and what I understand, to be about them. So again, thank you for watching, and make sure that you're tuned in and that notification button is turned on so you don't miss the next video. Thank you guys. Bye.